Today's spooky spot, we are having a look at the McFarlane Toys Twisted Fairy Tales Humpty Dumpty. A very grotesque looking figure, again coming to us from the twisted mind of McFarlane Toys. This takes it takes fairy tales and adds certainly a very tormented, very twisted perception or how they're presented. Humpty Dumpty, I'm sure everybody knows the story of Humpty Dumpty. He sat on a wall, had a great fall, yada yada yada, they couldn't put him back together again. This one, however, he's less an egg and he's just instead this blobulous man, just full of innards and other things. Looking forward to getting this guy opened up. Spin around the back of the package. The read-up says, the infamous McFarlane Monsters action figure line is back. Series 4 focuses on beloved fairy tale and nursery rhyme characters, all skewed by McFarlane vision into something new and horrible. Collect all 6. The figures consist of Red Riding Hood, Humpty Dumpty, Hansel, Gretel, Peter Pumpkin Eater, and Miss Muffet. By the way, if you were to set back the time on your DeLorean, you would want to go back to 2005. This is when this line was available. That being said, Spot's going to take a terrifying break. Going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Twisted Fairy Tales Humpty Dumpty. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. With Humpty Dumpty, you get 2 pieces to the figure. You get a main back wall. This could be the wall that he had the Great Fall, although it's an unfinished wall, which would explain maybe why he had such a great fall. He was trying to stand and sit on top of this broken, battered wall surface. It could also be the floor too, but the way that Humpty Dumpty is, he's flat on the bottom, so it makes me think, unless you have him lined up against the wall, it makes me think he should sit like this. But again, if he sat like that, that would make sense because he did technically have a great fall. But again, you would just have him sitting this way as opposed to this way where you would see the flat bottom to him. But he has 3 peg holes on the back and then 3 pegs on the base. You have to line them up. Surprisingly, not an easy thing to do. And just apply a little bit of pressure. And you've got Humpty Dumpty. Again, it's viewers' perception of how you would want to have him displayed. I think he just makes more sense this way because he would have fallen straight down, and then the weight of him would have just basically erupted his body, causing everything to fall out. Or again, you could have it this way, but you just won't see it as much. You won't appreciate it as much. Humpty Dumpty definitely had a great fall. I feel like Humpty Dumpty was quite morbidly obese before the fall, and maybe it was just his weight that caused him to fall down. I don't know if this is stemming from how he appeared at the top of the wall, where he has not moved for a while. And unfortunately, when you don't move for a while, limbs and other things stop working. Humpty Dumpty has gotten all gangrened and decayed from, my guess is, years, decades of not moving. How he possibly ate up there is something I will never know. But yes, he has fallen. You can see even Humpty Dumpty's man boob just kind of hanging down there. But he is, I guess from impact of hitting the ground, he has just ripped himself open, and all his organs and guts and stuff like that are all hanging out of his body. It's very grotesque. It also, something I noticed too with Humpty Dumpty, is it looks like he has been repaired a couple of times before. The reason why I say that is because there are stitch marks in his body that perhaps the king's horsemen and all the king's men have tried putting Humpty Dumpty together again before. Maybe they fixed him up, they stitched him up, they stapled him up. And then somebody had the arduous task of hauling Humpty Dumpty, maybe by pulley, back up onto the wall. And then later on, he fell again. Somebody's come running into the room. Hey, Frederick. Yes. You know that Humpty Dumpty guy? Oh God, don't tell me he fell again. He fell again. Oh, I hate my job. But yeah, he's also got all these gross worms and centipedes and stuff like that. I can't tell whether they're actually coming out of his body. It looks like they are. They're all kind of coming out of this one opening in the bottom of Humpty Dumpty's base. But it's a very gross sight to see. If you ever get to a size like this, first of all, don't sit on top of a wall, but take care of yourself a little bit better, because you don't know what could be living in there. When it comes to his articulation, he has only his arms. That's it. He can't move at the head. He can't move at his whole body, but he can really only move at the hands. His hands, even so much so, have not been used that his fingers look like they've just got this arthritic bend. Like they're just disfigured hands. My guess, again, from him not using them. Can you imagine the guy that would actually have to go up, or girl that would have to go up, probably by the instructions of the king, to go up there and feed Humpty Dumpty? Again, what would he eat? I'm thinking anything and everything and anything he can get his hands on, his little hands. And maybe somebody actually feeds him while they're up there. They just take a spoon and they just keep, here you go, Humpty. Do you have more food? Yes, here you go. He's got a little hat, which I think that's kind of fun. His face is, well, it's morbidly obese. The paint is quite good too. Yeah, again, it's just a really gruesome recreation of Humpty Dumpty through the eyes of McFarlane Toys. They've taken a childhood classic, Humpty Dumpty, and well, we don't really know what happened after his great fall, but if this is anything like what ended up happening, I think Humpty Dumpty should have just stayed off the wall to start off with. Today's spookerific Spot was having a look at the McFarlane Toys Twisted Fairy Tales Humpty Dumpty. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more spookerific spots heading your way this Halloween. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.